just got into Hong Kong. I'm gonna grab a taxi and I'm gonna head on down to Mongkok where we'll be staying. And I'm really excited about this trip because I've got a quest for some great tasting dim sum, some crispy roast duck, and I want to check out some of the local markets. Let's check it out. It's our first day in Hong Kong, and we decided to take a stroll to Kowloon, looking for some killer Hong Kong style dim sum. So we're here at the One now. We were at the Star House building, and it seemed to be more like a tourist area and really wasn't the type of cuisine that I was looking for. We're gonna go see if we can find ourselves a local style dim sum shop. This must be an offering to the gods. That's some good crispy pork right there, making me hungry. So we stumbled in Sunrise Seafood Restaurant, and it appeared to be like an empty, hole-in-the-wall restaurant. They sent us upstairs and we walked into a huge dining room full of people dining. We have a lot of locals and a lot of Chinese tourists that are here. We're probably the only American tourists in here. So I think we're in the right place. We're starting off the meal with some congee. Got some roast pork and some century egg, or as they say, black egg. Congee is basically a rice porridge, Chinese style. It's got ginger, garlic, some scallions. Looks like some of the goodies has arrived. Yep, it's about to go down. Got a whole bunch of stuff. Dim sum. They're quite small, so you gotta order enough to enjoy. Obviously, there's no way I'm gonna eat all of this food, so I'm gonna try my best. And don't forget, you have to order some vegetables. Today I ordered some choy sum, sauteed with garlic and some sesame oil. We call this the crystal dumpling. Clean, crisp vegetables, so tasty. You don't even need a sauce. World famous shumai. This one has lobster roe on it. It's really authentic style dim sum. A little chili oil on it. Crisp pork with a hint of shrimp, shiitake mushroom. One of my all-time favorites, steamed spare ribs with chili and black bean. There's something about that tender, soft bone from the spare ribs, flavor. This is like food crack. Once you start, it's hard to stop. Barbecue pork bun. Chinese style barbecue pork stuffed into a bao bun. It's got a little bit of that barbecue pork gravy. I'm so full, but it's good.
Really good.
So good. But please, somebody stop me. We're in the streets of Mongkok, and I mean, the streets are littered with street food, restaurants, shopping areas. mean, if you're a foodie, this is a must check out kind of area of Hong Kong. Food everywhere. Like a Chinese churro. It's a little eggy. It's not sweet at all. It's actually savory. Got a little salt. It kind of reminds me of a French cruller. This would actually be really good with a little honey or syrup. Just me. It's pretty good. So whenever you're in Hong Kong, I highly recommend that you have an egg tart. To me, it's by far one of the best desserts you could have while you're here. Buttery, flaky crust filled with a delicate egg custard. It's to die for. We got a little stand here with a long line. I see beef tongue, pork tongue, pig ears, sausage, liver, heart. I mean, dang, that's crazy. And check out the line right here behind me. There's people dying to get in there and get some of that grub. We're here at a Michelin-starred dumpling house. They got 1 Michelin star. They have black truffle dumpling, also shrimp dumpling. We're gonna try both. This one has black truffle. It's packed with flavor. Pork. It's really good. Sometimes I wonder how some of these restaurants in other parts of the world besides France, these restaurants are able to accomplish and obtain a Michelin star. Just one bite of this sweet little dumpling will tell you. A+. We're at a local farmer's market. It's right here in downtown Mongkok. At first glance, I see lots of local produce, lots of fruits. Maybe I might get lucky and find me some lychees. Crossing fingers. No luck with lychees, but I think we got the next best thing, which is longan. Tastes like lychee, almost. Very sweet and crisp. This is like a chef's paradise. Fresh local produce and fruits. Whatever you can think of, they have it. Herbs, eggs. Then you have another section that has freshly butchered meat. Oh yeah. We're at Grand Century Place, and we're gonna check out Peking Garden. Just got to Peking Garden. Peking Garden is a name synonymous with really good Peking duck or Beijing duck. It's a beautiful restaurant. It's fancy, upscale. You could tell they're upholding that name. We just ordered a whole roast duck and a couple of other things. So the wait is 45 minutes for a whole roasted duck, which I'm sure is going to be worth it. So stand by. Peking duck to come. Of course, I had to order some more dim sum. When in Hong Kong, gotta eat dim sum. Black truffle. I noticed here in Hong Kong over the past couple of days that they frequently use black truffle in some of the upscale restaurants, and I love it. I'm a truffle fan, and it's making all the difference. Peking duck has arrived. Some pancakes, and it's time to get down. So, pancake, duck, cucumber, some scallion, we got some hoisin sauce. Just gonna do a quick drizzle. And then got some chili paste that I like to put on because I love that spice. Now we're gonna roll it up like a wrap. We got our little duck wrap. The duck is so juicy, the skin is so crisp. It's that good. So traditionally, Peking duck or Beijing duck is just the skin that's served with the pancake. And so all you're getting is crispy skin and pancake and some of the vegetables and the toppings. Now, I mean, to me, I want the meat with the skin. Here they offer it two ways. They do the skin, and then with the meat they chop it up and they serve it in lettuce wraps. I prefer to do away with the lettuce wraps, and I just wanted the meat and the skin together. And that's just the way I like to eat it. But you know, it's cooked just right. And I've had Peking duck in many places, and this one is right up there in the top. Time to make another one. It was a great choice coming to Peking Garden. Tell you the truth, because we're in Hong Kong, there's so many options for Peking duck or roast duck. And I've been to a Peking Garden in Manila, actually in Makati, and it's always great when I go there. So, you know, I know that Peking Garden originated here in Hong Kong, and I said, you know, what the heck, let's go for a name we know. And absolutely 100% satisfied that we came here. Boom, baby. We're back from an excellent culinary journey in Hong Kong. We had some crispy roast duck and some delicious Hong Kong style dim sum. So for today, my inspired dishes are a crispy roast duck, and I'm gonna serve it up with some plum sauce, some spicy mustard, and some steamed bao buns. The second dish, I'm gonna do a truffle-infused shrimp and pork dumpling. What do you say we get started? So we're gonna start off with some boiling water. I've got some Chinese 5-spice, some garlic powder, some bay leaves, some onion powder. I've got some chicken bouillon and special ingredient, Chinese food coloring. It's an orange red food coloring. I'm gonna put a little bit of white pepper and some salt. And what I like to do is just over season this liquid, make it salty, so to speak. Give this a quick stir. And this is the liquid we're gonna use to sort of blanch the duck. When I say blanch, I'm basically just gonna ladle some of this hot flavored liquid over the duck skin, and we can even sit the duck in it for a little bit, and that's gonna cause the skin to tighten up. Okay, so I've got a 6-pound duckling, and I've submersed it in there. The water is nice and hot. Go ahead and flip this. Okay, so we just want to impart the flavor at the same time that we're tightening up the skin. And that's why I was saying I like to make it on the salty side, so we can get a lot of that flavor on the skin and to penetrate the skin. So now that looks to be about right. So what I want to do now is just basically pat it down with some paper towel, just to kind of dry it up before we roast it. Now, another thing I like to do is put some seasoning inside the cavity, some salt and pepper. Peking duck, it's actually a very, very long process. The whole process actually takes close to a 24-hour period. And typically, they inject some air in between the skin and the meat to separate the skin from the meat, which also helps to get that skin extremely crispy. Once they go through this process that we just did, is instead of patting it down, they hang the ducks and allow it to dry up for a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours, let it air dry before they chill it and get it ready for roasting. So now I'm gonna skewer the cavity closed to keep the moisture in, and I'm just using a bamboo skewer. I don't have this fancy stainless steel skewers like some of these Chinese restaurants do. And we're gonna put this in a 300-degree oven for about an hour and a half. And then at the end of that, we're gonna go ahead and crank it up to about 350 and allow it to roast for an additional half hour. Our second dish, a truffle-infused shrimp and pork dumpling. We have a few basic ingredients, and we're gonna start off with some roughly chopped pork. We've got some minced shrimp that we're gonna add in there, a little bit of garlic, finely minced. We're gonna add in a little Chinese bouillon powder, some minced scallions, pinch of white pepper or 2, some salt, and my favorite ingredient, dehydrated truffle powder. And this is gonna give it a really nice aromatic flavor. We've got some truffle oil. Just gonna add a drizzle of some white truffle oil. And then we're gonna give this a mix and incorporate it so that all the flavors combine. And last ingredient, I have gelatinized pork stock. I'm gonna mix that up nicely, and you're probably wondering why we're using gelatinized pork stock. And I'm a big fan of the Shanghai dumpling, which is basically a pork dumpling that has a lot of juice in it after it's steamed. And this is kind of how you get it. You add some gelatinized stock. That way you kind of have that pop, juicy effect going on. So I'm gonna mix this well. And then we're gonna go ahead and wrap some of these dumplings. We've got some round dumpling wrappers. We're gonna spoon in about an ounce of this truffle filling that we just made. And by no means am I a Chinese dim sum chef. So basically just wrapping it into a purse, and then we squeeze out the top so that it sticks together. There's really no right from wrong here. We're just creating like a purse filled with truffle flavored pork and shrimp filling. And then we're gonna steam this. I've got some already pre-made here. I've got a steamer basket, a bamboo steamer basket that I have preheated. I'm gonna add some parchment paper and just place these dumplings into the basket here. And the parchment paper helps it from, or keeps it from sticking to the bamboo. And just arrange it in there nicely. And then we're gonna allow this to steam for about 10 minutes. Typically, I like to eat my dim sum or dumplings with a chili oil or a chili paste and some spicy mustard. And I like to use Tabasco because the vinegary aspect of Tabasco adds a tanginess and at the same time gives it some nice spice. So we're gonna start off with a hot pan and some Tabasco. Adding some oil. Now a little more Tabasco. We're really cooking the Tabasco into the oil. And as you can see, you got that nice orange color. The vinegar and the spices are coming out. It's like really killing my nostrils, but it's gonna be worth it when you have it with the dumpling. So the sauce is done. Let's check on our duck. So our duck is done and we're gonna go ahead and plate it up. Okay, so now to plate up, we're gonna add a little bit of cabbage grass. And we're just gonna arrange our duck on there. Just put a few of the bao buns on there. I've got some plum sauce, some spicy mustard, and some prawn crackers. And we'll garnish this with some green onion grass. So now we're gonna plate up our truffle infused shrimp and pork dumplings. I've got some spicy mustard, and I'm just gonna put a little bit down on the plate. I've got my Tabasco oil. I'm also gonna put some of that down on the plate. Got our dumplings. Wow, look at that. This looks really, really nice. Got a little bit of green onion grass that we'll just put in between. So there you have it, our two dishes. Crispy roast duck with steamed bao buns, plum sauce, and spicy mustard. Our second dish, truffle-infused shrimp and pork dumplings with Tabasco oil and some spicy mustard. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in here to try out these two wonderful specials. Gotta have it with some plum sauce and some mustard. That's the only way. And I can't forget some skin. Sorry. It is spicy, huh? Sandwich time. It's like a try to access.